Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. It is Saturday, February 22nd, day 22 of 4:44 a.m.s with Michelle. Today, we are going to be talking about our thoughts. Our last few days have been on our goals and learning to create goals that will help us measure and track and understand exactly what we're after so we can get the results that we want. So today we are going to incorporate how our thinking about that really drives into also helping us achieve those results that we're looking for. When we are changing our motives, when we're changing our morning routines, when we're changing different things, we're not only changing the physical aspects of what we're doing, but we're also changing our mind and our mindset that goes along with that. So as we talk about thoughts, I want you to think about the things that you were thinking about the last couple days, where we talked about like why your 2024 goal failed. Why did the things that happen? And a lot of it can be around the way that we are thinking. So there's a quote that I like to read that says, "Thoughts become perception. Perception becomes reality. You alter your thoughts, you alter your reality." Proverbs 4:8 says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." So the Bible clearly tells us exactly what we should be thinking on. As we go through today, kind of start to think about where your thoughts lie. What type of thoughts are you allowing into your mind? And what are you doing with those thoughts once they come in? There is a part of your brain that is called the reticular activation system, or RAS. And what it is it's a bundle of nerves that sit on your brainstem, and its job is to regulate your behavior, your consciousness, and your motivation. So what this does is we are created to have this part of us that is regulating stuff around us. We bring in so much information every day. Everything that hits us is coming in as a thought in some way, shape, or form. So your brain is essentially filtering what it is bringing in. So, for example, my kids and I like to play the yellow car game while we're driving around. And it reminds me of back when I was younger, the slug bug game. If you saw a Volkswagen bug, you got to slug your brother, sister, whoever that you were riding with. The yellow car game is essentially the same thing. When you see a yellow car, you get to hit somebody else in the car. And what I really noticed is I didn't care about yellow cars before we started playing this game. But now that we play, we see yellow cars everywhere. And there's a reaction now when we see a yellow car. It didn't used to matter. There was nothing that happened with it. But now when that happens, you either getting hit or you are hitting somebody. And while it's fun, it really made me start to think that we have yellow cars that used to pass all the time. But until we're truly looking for them, there's no reaction when we did see one. We also feel like we start to notice them more. We notice that there's more yellow cars in this case than there truly are. And that isn't always the case. Same with pregnancy. Once you are starting to think about becoming pregnant or become pregnant, you tend to notice that there are a lot of other pregnant women that are around. And so this part of your brain is starting to filter in the things that you deem it to be important, and it starts to notice them more, which causes them to think that there's more out there. So when we are doing this, this also applies to our fears. You'll see I got to change out my sign today that let your faith be bigger than your fear. When I came back to the Lord, I had our women's leader. She does a word of the year, every word or phrase from the Lord every year. So in 2023, I asked the Lord what my word was. took me a little bit of word clouding and a couple, days of really truly seeking him to find out what that word was. And he told me that my word was fear. And I was kind of shocked by this. I didn't expect the word fear to be um, what I was holding on to. So I was like, that can't be. Well, I had started journaling the year before. So I went back through my journal. I didn't use the word fear, but there was a lot of afraids, scareds. I didn't realize how much fear I was holding on to of just different things that are going to be happening. It's one of the big things that I had to work on and am still working on. So, in the same way, if we are looking for the things that scare us or make us afraid, we're going to see them a lot more than the faith that things are going to turn out good and that our God has a bigger plan. So, another story I like to tell when I talk on this is the thoughts of what is coming in. I had a friend who was thinking about applying for a new job, and she was excited about it. And she started to tell people what she'd made the decision that she was going to apply. And about 10 or 15 people that she talked to was like, "Absolutely, go for it. You got this." There were one or two that were like, um, what they did was they gave her advice on how to apply. You may not be as strong in this area, so talk about how you want to incorporate that. But here's the things that you are strong in. Excuse me. So she got a couple helpful advice from one or two people. But there was one person that told her, no way. They laughed at her. They said, "You're not qualified to do that." She took the one person that had the negative commentary, and that is what she chose to think on. She eventually realized that she was doing it and applied for the job anyway. But that one person, that one thought that came in of "I'm not good enough," was about to derail what 12 to 15 people had just told her she was ready and awesome for. So we allow the thoughts that come in to have action in our lives. And so we really want to say, well, where are we placing our focus? Um, when you look at what is truly going on, our mind is changing every time that we pick up one of these things. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. When you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." This is really about changing mindset. Um, the friend I just talked about, she still ended up applying for the job. And even though she had a moment of, "I can't do this," it was that mind shift from "I can't do this" to "I'm qualified, I'm going to give it a shot," that really made the difference in her actions. There was a time that I had read an article, and it was for work, and it was called the Itty Bitty Committee. And what it talked about was the voices in our head that help drive the thoughts we have, the conversations that we have with ourselves. And when I read the article, I was like, I don't really think that, I don't see that applied in my life. I don't really get it. The next morning, I had something I had to get done for work, and I literally could hear myself start to say, "I don't even know why you're in this new role. You took it. You don't even know what you're doing. There's no point in even working on it because it's just going to be wrong." And I started to hear these things in my head, not realizing I've probably been saying these things to myself all the time and taking my thoughts as reality and not moving on them. So it really makes you start to think, okay, I got to start listening to these things in my head, but not to do what they say, but to learn from them. So it's really about learning the different things that you have going on in your head and how you're taking them in. The last verse I wanted to read today was from 2 Corinthians 10:5. "We demolish arguments and every pretense that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ." So, what I would love for you to do today, as you are thinking thoughts today, because everybody does, I want you to start thinking about your thoughts in relationships to the goals that you have, into the foundations that you want to build, into your relationship with Christ. And I really want you to start thinking about the thoughts that you're having. Take every thought captive. Are your thoughts positive? Are they negative? Are they encouraging? Are they part of that list that I first read? Lovely, pure, good. Are they all those things? Or do they tend to be the fears? I don't know if I can do that. I think that's too scary. I don't want to go there. So I really want you to start taking those thoughts captive today. Um, Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Where have your thoughts been? How do you change that? Tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about how to change that, what tips and ideas and tricks we can give our mind and the way that we think in order to change our mindset into a productive, Christ-centered, exciting thoughts that come in machine instead of what we tend to today of being negative and hard on ourselves. So hit that subscribe button so you'll know when I go live tomorrow. Like this and share it with your friends if this has helped. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.